As soon as I finished speaking, the entire meeting room fell into silence. My colleagues all cast looks at me as if to say, "Is this building a haven?" I blinked my eyes. Slowly, I shifted my gaze from the boss's pectoral muscles to his ugly-faced expression. 2 words slowly drifted through my mind. "I'm finished." Inside the boss's office, I hung my head guiltily, staring at the tip of my shoes. "Noah, I'm asking you, what's the difference between humans and animals?" I answered hesitantly. "Humans can think while standing upright." "No," the boss slapped the table hard. "It's that humans don't go into heat anytime and anywhere." "Noah, you'd better put away those inappropriate covetous thoughts of yours." My mouth slowly gaped open. Covetous? What covetousness? Does the boss think I'm coveting him? No. I just simply like looking at pectoral muscles. I like looking at any man's pectoral muscles. After William finished speaking, he was about to get up and leave the office. In a hurry to explain, I immediately reached out to stop him. Wait. Unexpectedly, I wasn't paying attention to my feet and tripped hard. William and I fell to the ground in a sorry state. And my face happened to be buried in his chest. It's so soft and bouncy. I don't want to get up. The next second, a strong force yanked me away. For the first time, an expression of shame and helplessness appeared on the boss's face, which was always expressionless and as cold as ice. "Noah, you're really unreasonable. You're courting death." After William roared at me, he staggered to his feet as if there were some fierce beast behind him. I looked at his fleeing back, my eyes full of confusion. Listen to my explanation. "Boss?" After leaving William's office, I returned to my workstation. Immediately, a gossipy colleague beside me moved his stool closer to me. "Noah, to tell the truth, did you force yourself on the boss in the office just now?" I spat a mouthful of water onto the display screen. "What are you talking about?" I just saw William come out of the office with a flushed face and disheveled clothes. In this state, it's really hard to believe that there's nothing going on between you two. He squinted his eyes suspiciously. "Could it be that we're part of your game?" I gave him a hard punch expressionlessly. "Your most important task now is to uninstall tomato novels. Your most important task now is to shut up and give me the documents needed for tomorrow." A deep and plaintive voice came from behind. I looked back and saw William's fierce face. I couldn't hold it back and spat out a mouthful of water again. Unfortunately, it just sprayed on his chest. William should have gone to change into a loose t-shirt just now. But now with the water soaking it, the fabric on his chest immediately became faintly visible. I widened my eyes. What a hunk. "Noah." William's fingertips were trembling and his breathing was accelerating. I really feared that he would faint the next second. I immediately got up to pat the boss on the back. Sorry, William. I didn't do it on purpose." The next second, William reached out and grabbed my wrist. "Noah, do you know that I can call the police and accuse you of harassment for this behavior of yours?" I lowered my head. Somehow my hands had a mind of their own. One was patting the boss's broad back muscles, while the other was resting on the boss's well-developed pectoral muscles. I even subconsciously squeezed them. William let out a muffled groan. But in my heart, I was thinking, the feeling of this is even better than the stress ball I bought for hundreds of dollars. William hadn't come to the company for several consecutive days. Colleagues all said that the boss was scared away by my harassment. At first, I really thought so and felt extremely guilty. It wasn't until the boss's assistant clarified things later that my spotless reputation was restored. William is sick and has been in the hospital these days. Although, could it be that my actions are partly responsible for William's sudden illness? My guilt inexplicably turned into self-reproach. So after work, I carried a fruit basket. After getting the ward number from Henry, I happily went to visit him. Standing outside the ward, I knocked on the door, but there was no response. Cautiously pushing the door open, I saw William lying in bed with a drip. Already asleep, his face was an unhealthy pale, and he was loosely holding a few documents in his hand. He probably had been dealing with work when he was still awake. "Well, Being a boss is not easy. I reached out and tugged at the quilt on William's body. I wanted to tuck him in more tightly. What are you doing? Hearing the voice, I paused in my actions. Why did the boss wake up at such an inopportune moment? William was glaring at the hand with which I was tucking him in, and my hand was just holding the corner of the quilt, right at the level of his chest. My voice sounded a bit shaky. I'm just tucking you in? Noah, take your hand away. The boss is too sensitive. Isn't he? Well, now it's a mess. It's really hard to clear my name even if I jump into the Yellow River. I retracted my hand awkwardly. William pulled the quilt up to his neck. His whole body was covered tightly, with only his head exposed. What are you here for? Do you have some documents for me to sign? No, boss. I heard you were sick, so I came to check on you. I pointed at the fruit basket on the bedside table. I also brought you some fruits. Thank you. William forced out a couple of polite but insincere laughs. The ward fell silent again. William and I stared at each other. Is there anything else? I hesitated. Shall I peel an orange for you? No, thanks. William refused immediately. After 2 seconds, as if he had made up his mind, he slowly began to speak. Noah, although both you and I are men, some of your actions are really not appropriate. Do you understand what I mean? Just because we're both men, it doesn't mean you can just touch me casually. William found it extremely difficult to say these few words, but he spoke earnestly. My heart felt a sense of powerlessness similar to that of a widow being slandered with false rumors. Boss, you really misunderstood. Actually, I don't have those messy thoughts about you at all. I just simply admire you. I emphasized, figure. To prove my words, I immediately dug out several fitness videos from my phone. The men in the videos all had excellent figures with broad shoulders, narrow waists, and well-developed pectoral muscles. These were all the videos I had collected for my own appreciation. I've only seen this kind of figure online. There are too few people with such figures around me, so when I saw it, I just couldn't help myself. Really? William's voice seemed to relax a bit. It seemed that he probably believed me. Even so, you can't act so familiarly with me casually in the future. Okay. I guarantee I won't do it again. I replied repeatedly. Boss, I still want to ask you, how did you train to get this figure? I blinked my eyes and looked at William. William replied simply and neatly. I don't train. It's natural. Fine. He showed off again. I secretly made up my mind that after I was done with this busy period, I would sign up for a fitness class and have a good workout. Next week, we're going on a business trip to meet clients. Get prepared. Book the air tickets and hotel. The company will reimburse you. Okay. I replied quickly, determined to handle this matter well and make the boss look at me with new eyes. By the way, slightly redeem my own image. Then I'll go and handle it now. Boss, you have a good rest. Okay. Sure enough, when things are entrusted to me, everything will, go wrong. At the hotel front desk, the boss was holding the room card, staring at me wide-eyed. Did you only book one room? I was trying to save some money for the company. When did the company tell you to save money? There is a quota for business trip reimbursement in the company. Boss, it was you who set this rule. William heaved a deep sigh. He looked like he really wanted to strangle me. So, it's my fault? I waved my hands repeatedly. No. Forget it. There are no extra rooms available now. Let's go and rest first. I heaved a sigh of relief and obsequiously took the luggage from William's hand. Boss, let me carry it for you. It was unbearably stuffy in the elevator. As soon as I swiped the card to open the hotel room door, I couldn't wait to take off my upper body clothes. William coughed twice behind me. I turned my head. What's wrong, boss? Pay attention. Aren't we all men? What do I need to pay attention to? Although he grumbled inwardly, he still obediently put his clothes back on. Okay, boss. You go take a shower first. I'll go downstairs for a late night snack. I guess William would feel uncomfortable with me around. It's better for me to go out and wander for a while. After having a meal, I packed a bag of fried chicken for William and happily returned to the hotel. When I felt in my pocket, I found I didn't bring my card, so I had to knock on the door. It took William quite a while to come and open the door for me. He probably had just taken a shower. A loose bathrobe was draped over his body, and the lines of his well-defined pectoral muscles were faintly visible. My gaze almost instinctively stuck to them like glue. William noticed it in a second and immediately pulled his robe together. I sighed regretfully. He really abides by the virtues of a gentleman. I raised the bag in my hand. Boss, I brought you some midnight snacks. It's not good to eat something so greasy at night. Eat less. William, you're not much older than me. Why are your living habits just like my parents? The next second, William shot me a glare. Sorry, I was being wordy. I shut up and went to the bathroom to take a shower. When I came out again, all the lights in the room were off, leaving only a night light by the bedside. Saying that William is like my parents is an understatement. He goes to bed even earlier than my parents. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. I played with my phone in the dark for half an hour, listening to William's breathing. Somehow, I also felt very sleepy. I put down my phone and slowly fell into a dream. I dreamed that I went to a peach orchard with my friends to pick peaches. Those peaches were all big and plump, and they would break the skin as soon as I took a bite. Suddenly, for some reason, my scalp suddenly hurt. It seemed like something was tugging at it. I frowned in pain and murmured vaguely, "It hurts." A pair of hands grabbed my hair and forcefully pulled me out of the sweet dream filled with the smell of peaches. The light was too bright. It took me a long time to slowly open my eyes. Right in front of me was William, who smelled of peach because he used peach-scented body wash, and his messy bathrobe that was pulled open. I was so shocked, as if I had been struck by lightning, and instantly woke up. Someone please save me. I sleepwalked and ended up in my boss's bed. Did I mistake his pectoral muscles for peaches? I wanted to cry but had no tears. I forced a bitter smile. Boss, do you believe me when I say I was walking just now? William rubbed his temples hard, but I think he would rather wring my neck at this moment. William parted his thin lips slightly and slowly uttered 2 words. Get out. Sorry. Noah, all your previous explanations were bullshit. You just wanted to lull me into a false sense of security. Right? You're actually so scheming. You deliberately booked one room and deliberately used sleepwalking as an excuse to take liberties with me. At this moment, William's hair and clothes were in a mess, and his eye circles were red. He looked like an innocent young woman who had been severely defiled. No, really not. I gritted my teeth and shouted recklessly. If not, I'll let you take liberties with me in return. William looked very complicated. Noah, I really respected the homosexual community before, but now, you really scare me a bit. The next day, I sat in the restaurant having breakfast with huge dark circles under my eyes. 2 seats away, there was William, who also looked sleep-deprived. The words he said to me last night came to my mind again. Noah, I can accept your proper and reasonable pursuit of me, but your current actions are really unacceptable to me. No wonder people say that misfortunes never come singly. These annoying things just keep coming one after another. I can only pray that the afternoon's itinerary will go more smoothly. I gulped down 2 cups of coffee and talked with the client for more than 3 hours. Finally, we managed to finalize this cooperation. After that night, William remained silent whenever he saw me, and I wanted to find opportunities to explain several times. But there was never a suitable moment to start the conversation. In the end, it all ended without a proper resolution. However, if I had known in advance that this misunderstanding would deepen in the future, I would definitely have tied William up and explained it to him. After finishing a project, my work finally became a lot easier. However, to avoid the awkwardness of bumping into the boss, I would always stay in the toilet after work and watch a video about dismemberment before leaving. Yes, recently when it came to William, it was like a game of cat and mouse. When I bumped into him in the pantry, I would take a detour. When I saw him in the canteen, I would keep 2 rows away from him with my tray. When reporting work, I was also serious and no longer joked around like before. I was afraid that the boss would fire me on the grounds of harassing my superior. Unexpectedly, William worked overtime that day. I finally caught up with an elevator. When I took a closer look, oh, the boss was inside. I immediately waved my hand and said, "Never mind. You guys go down first. I'll wait for the next one." A colleague wondered, "There's still room in there, isn't there?" I watched as the elevator door slowly closed in front of me. Unexpectedly, William raised his hand. The door opened again. Then, his deep voice sounded, "Come in." I dare not disobey the boss's words. I immediately rushed into the elevator and huddled in the corner. I tried my best to make myself less noticeable. With a ding, the elevator reached the first floor. Just as I was about to get out, William called me back. "Noah." He took a deep breath. "You don't have to avoid me like this. I didn't take what happened before to heart. Just let it go and be the way you used to be." Looking at his back, a question mark slowly emerged in my mind. It's wrong not to avoid him, and it's also wrong to avoid him. Could it be that the boss is afraid I'll quit and is trying to keep me an excellent and outstanding employee for the company? Oh my God. Who said William was bad? He's actually very nice. As I walked out of the company gate, I bumped into a flyer distributor. "Sir, would you like to learn about swimming and fitness?" I instinctively waved my hand. "Thanks, but no." "Wait a minute. How much does it cost to get a membership card at your gym? Is there any discount?" I've already figured it out. Instead of coveting other people's pectoral muscles, it's better to build my own pectoral muscles and admire myself. I happily followed the coach to the gym. After an hour-long trial class, I simply and neatly swiped my bank card. Since I had spent money on it, I went to the gym very frequently in the first month. I was so diligent that William noticed something strange. He casually mentioned, "You've been leaving work quite quickly lately. Lucas said you go to the gym every day after work?" "Yes," I replied with a big smile. "I just want to get in good shape." William nodded indifferently. "Which gym do you go to?" Although I didn't quite understand why William was asking this question, I still answered honestly. "It's the Orange Star Gym, just 2 blocks away from the company." "Okay, I got it." A few days after William asked me, I saw him at the gym. "Boss, you're here to work out too." I couldn't believe it. "You already have such a good figure and you're still competing?" "I've been sitting in the office for too long. I'm here to relax." Looking at his expressionless face, I murmured to myself. Seeing the coach in the distance, I greeted him. "Hello, coach." The coach waved back. "Noah, you can start working out on your own first. I haven't eaten all day. I'm going to find something to eat." "Okay, go ahead." After that, William's soft voice rang in my ear. "Is this your coach?" "Yes. Don't you notice that he builds his muscles with protein powder?" "Don't believe me? I've never worked out before, so I'm not really sure." "Haha, just touch mine. You should be able to clearly feel the difference." After William said that, he stretched his arm in front of me. I hesitated and pinched it. To be honest, I really couldn't feel any difference. Maybe there's something wrong with my fingers. However, considering that William is my boss, I still nodded seriously as if I really understood. "Yes, you're much more muscular." After pleasing the boss, William was obviously in a good mood. He even offered to teach me how to work out. I sat on the exercise equipment, and William stood behind me. His warm body covered my back. He held my hand to give me strength and slowly pushed it up. "Don't use this part to exert force." William's breath hit my ear. "Use this part." I subconsciously tightened my abdomen. It was the first time I had such an intimate contact with my boss. I wasn't repulsed, just a little nervous. And there was also something strange and a tiny bit of excitement. My heart was beating faster than usual. "Wait, is this right?" "Sir, I can do it myself." "Yes." William slowly stepped back. In the next few days, William would come to the gym to relax every now and then. As time passed, we actually became quite good workout partners. Fortunately, after training for so long, I've achieved some results. My elder brother came back from abroad a few days ago. After not seeing each other for a long time, he praised me as soon as he saw me. Well done, kid. While others look thinner after not seeing each other for a few years, you've become more muscular instead, I said with a big smile. Of course. On the contrary, you've really lost weight. Bro, the food abroad can't compare with that in China. He put his arm around my shoulder. Come on. Let's go home and ask Mom to cook a few more delicious dishes. My elder brother brought back a beautiful sister-in-law this time when he returned to China, which made my mom extremely happy. I really haven't seen my mom so happy for a long time. However, while she was happy, she didn't forget to nag me. Noah, look at your elder brother. When will you also bring a girlfriend home to make your mom happy? I was really extremely annoyed. I'm gay. How can I find a girlfriend? Moreover, feelings can't just come at will. Can they? I was in a gloomy mood after being nagged at for several consecutive days. And William also noticed something was wrong. What's wrong? Is the food not to your taste? Or are you in a bad mood? I didn't want to talk about this. But then I suddenly thought of something and asked William. Boss, have you ever been in a relationship? William looked a bit reserved. Why do you ask this? Just asking casually. No. You're so handsome and wealthy. Have you never been in a relationship? Do these conditions conflict with not being in a relationship? No. Let's eat. A faint smile tugged at the corner of William's mouth. I prefer it when the other person pursues me more openly. I was immersed in sending a message to my mom and casually replied. Okay. Got it. Mom, listen to this voice message. Our boss is handsome, rich, and has a great figure. He even has his own company. With such good conditions, he still doesn't have a partner. Your son has nothing. How can I compete with him? Please stop nagging me. Leave it to fate. After sending the message, I happily put away my phone. After the meal, William offered to drive me home. I was extremely flattered. Isn't it too much trouble? It's okay. It's on my way. I got in the car without hesitation. The moonlight shone through the car window on William's beautifully contoured profile. He looked extremely gentle, and there was no trace of the strict boss in the workplace. It would be great if I could touch such well-defined pectoral muscles every morning when I wake up. As this thought popped up, I immediately shook my head. Noah, what are you thinking about? Noah, I'm not leaving this time after coming back. I plan to register a company in the country. Do you want to come and help? I thought for a moment. It's not impossible, but I really like my current company and boss. I'm really reluctant to leave. My elder brother laughed and said, Okay, then you can think about it some more. My elder brother just returned to China. There are indeed many things that he can't handle alone. After thinking for a few days, I still decided to quit my job and go back to help him. But how should I tell William? It seems a bit awkward no matter how I start the conversation. After all, William has really been very nice to me. Even when I sleepwalked and bit him before, he didn't hold me accountable. The more I thought about it, the more guilty I felt. For several consecutive weeks, I kept bringing him bento and fruits. She's about to become a mother. Even my colleagues joked with me. Noah, are you going to become the boss's wife soon? I scolded with a smile. Are you crazy? I'm leaving soon. Where are you going? My elder brother is back. I'm going to help in his company. I said half jokingly. Cherish our last period of time together. Now that I've announced my plan to leave, it won't be long before William finds out. I might as well tell him today. I knocked on the office door and cautiously poked my head in. William, are you busy? William looked up from the documents. When he saw me, his eyes showed a bit of helplessness. What are you bringing today? I'm not bringing anything today. I just want to tell you something. William's expression changed. It seemed that he was a bit embarrassed. For some reason, even the tips of his ears began to turn slightly red. Let's talk about what you want to tell me after work. It's not appropriate now. Not appropriate? Do I have to wait until after work to mention my resignation? Although I was full of doubts, I didn't dare to question my boss. But then again, William got the news so quickly. Well, It saves me the trouble of not knowing how to start. After work, the colleagues left one after another, so I knocked on William's office door again. Can I talk now? Wait a minute. There's still a little work left. William looked up at me in the midst of his busyness. I've booked a restaurant. Let's talk while having dinner later. This is a major event in life. We can't be perfunctory. Yeah. When did resignation become a major event in life? I sat in the restaurant with great confusion in my heart. The restaurant had a wonderful environment. There was a high-class fragrance floating in the air, and the melodious music made people feel relaxed and happy. At the neighboring tables were well-dressed couples. It's really out of place to talk about resignation in such a place. But I still have to say it. Boss, can I talk now? William's eyes were extremely gentle at the moment, and his tone was soft. Yes, go ahead. I was about to speak when, the next second, a hurried phone ringtone sounded, interrupting my words. I glanced at William. He very considerately said, "Then answer the phone first." I picked up the phone. On the other end of the line was my elder brother's flustered voice, out of breath. "Noah, Dad has had an accident. Come to the hospital right away." I instantly felt as if I had been struck by lightning and stood there rigidly. What? I'll come right now. William noticed the drastic change in my complexion, and his expression also became serious. Something happened? I'll take you there. Along the way, William drove the car steadily and fast. I sat in the car, anxiously biting my fingers. All I could hear was his calm and gentle voice comforting me. "Noah, don't be anxious. Your father is a good man and will surely be blessed. He'll be fine. Only when you calm down can you help them." Gradually, in his peaceful tone, I really wasn't as upset as I was at the beginning. "Thank you." When we arrived at the hospital, the operating room had a red light on. My elder brother and my mother were both standing outside. They were stunned when they saw William. I explained, "This is my friend. He drove me here just now." William leaned forward slightly and said, "Hello." I sat on the cold bench outside the operating room, covering my stomach. The next second, a plastic bag appeared in front of me. There was a steaming boxed lunch inside. "You didn't eat anything in the restaurant just now. Have something to fill your stomach first." I took the meal blankly. I opened the lid, and the aroma wafted out. I took a bite. Suddenly, tears welled up uncontrollably like an open sluice gate. "William, why are you so nice to me?" A pair of gentle hands stroked my face. William sat beside me, and I leaned my head on his shoulder. He told me not to cry, but I just wanted to cry. In the end, he stopped persuading me and just silently let me soak his shirt with my tears. A high-end shirt, the kind that would be ruined once it got wet. After that, I felt extremely guilty and self-reproachful. "Boss, how much is your clothes? Otherwise, I'll compensate you with a new one." "No need." William paused for a moment and then said, "What did you want to tell me in the restaurant before?" "To quit my job. But it's not a good time to quit now. Moreover, my father is ill, and my elder brother has no time to manage the company for the time being." I shook my head and said, "I'm not in the mood to talk about this now." William was silent for a moment and suddenly said, "Do you want to go out and relax?" I was a little surprised. "Isn't it working time now? Just skip work. Didn't you keep talking about wanting to do this before?" Wait, is this right? The boss leads the way to skip work? Come on. It won't wait." After hearing what he said, I immediately followed behind him like a little tail. I didn't expect that William would take me to climb a mountain, not to a bar to drink and vent my feelings, not to a shopping mall to spend money and buy happiness, not to do extreme sports like skydiving and racing to seek excitement, but climb a mountain. I hate climbing mountains the most. Sure enough, I should have thought of it. How normal can the hobbies of a person whose living habits are infinitely close to those of an elderly person be? I was out of breath and exhausted from climbing. Yet William was still striding ahead of me. "Boss, wait. Wait for me." A big hand grabbed my arm. "Young man, your physical fitness is not very good." I was so angry that I laughed. How many years older are you than me? Amidst a continuous stream of wailing and complaining, we finally reached the mountaintop. Stumbling all the way, William took out 2 folding stools from his bag. Sit down, I asked stupidly. What for? Wait, the sunset is coming soon. If you can get up tomorrow, you can also watch the sunrise. I never thought before that waiting for the sunset and watching the sunrise, which sounds so boring, could actually be so wonderful. Perhaps William has the ability to make everything wonderful. He himself is a person with a strong inner core. At night, the 2 of us lay in a tent, hugging my sleeping bag. I said cautiously, Boss, I really wasn't lying to you last time when I said I sleepwalk. William rubbed the space between his eyebrows. You're still bringing up the last time. Anyway, if I do anything again this time, just give me a slap to wake me up. William nodded. If you can still make a fuss with a sleeping bag, I'll throw you outside. However, that night was unexpectedly peaceful. Except when I opened my eyes in the morning. I found that I had wriggled over to William's side at some point. I was extremely close to him. Our breaths seemed to be intertwined. My whole face instantly flushed red. My heart was beating abnormally fast. After that night, every time I saw William later, my heart would involuntarily beat faster. Stop it! Why is my heart beating so wildly? But on the surface, I still had to pretend that nothing was wrong. It was really torture. There was a wine party at the end of the year, and I attended it with William. I originally thought I was called to drink on his behalf. Unexpectedly, as the boss, William drank even more than me. After a few rounds of drinks and the end of the banquet, I supported the heavy boss and stood by the road to call a driver. Until we got in the car. The boss was in a state of unconsciousness and extremely obedient. I rarely saw him like this, and I found it quite novel. I kept stroking his bangs and pinching his face, having a great deal of fun. The driver saw it in the rear view mirror and said with a smile, You 2 young lovers have such a good relationship. I was extremely shocked and said, What young lovers? Hey, sir, I'm not an old-fashioned person. Can't I tell this? This society is very open now. Homosexuality is nothing unusual. I was completely dazed, my face blushing like a big tomato, and I quickly withdrew my hands. For the rest of the journey, I sat upright and didn't dare to move at all. A drunk person is incredibly heavy. I exerted a great deal of effort to move the unconscious William onto the sofa. He closed his eyes and suddenly uttered a single word. I leaned in to listen and only then realized it was water. I quickly went to the kitchen to pour a glass of water. Unexpectedly, William opened his eyes slightly and then turned his head away. I finally understood a bit how parents feel when coaxing their children to eat. Have a drink. Have a drink. Otherwise, you'll have a headache tomorrow. After much coaxing, I finally got him to drink the water. Just as I was about to stand up, I was suddenly tripped hard by William's leg that had stretched out at some point. I fell completely unexpectedly. Coincidentally, I landed right on the boss's lips. William's lips were soft, elastic and wet, just like jelly. I subconsciously licked them. Wait, is this right? I immediately got up in a hurry. I nervously stared at him for a few seconds. I confirmed that there were no signs of him waking up. Only then did I have a sigh of relief. Did I just steal the boss's first kiss? After my father came out of the surgery, his health got better and better every day. Life gradually returned to normal. My elder brother also started to get busy with the company's affairs. These days, I've been thinking, shouldn't I put the matter of resignation on the agenda? So one day, I poked my head into the boss's office again. I used the same template as last time. William, are you busy? I want to talk to you about something. It's the thing we didn't finish talking about last time. William gave me a deep look. He nodded and said, Okay, wait for me after work. Sitting in the restaurant, my state of mind was subtly different from the first time. It didn't seem like I was going to quit my job, but rather like I was going to confess my love. Wait, was that right? I took a deep breath and looked across at William. Boss, I'm planning to quit my job after the spring festival. I promise. William suddenly cut himself off and raised his voice. What did you say? I was startled. I said, I'm quitting. The thing you're here to tell me today is that you're quitting your job? Yes? What else could it be? William's face was cold, but his voice was gritted with anger. I thought you were going to confess your love to me. Now it was my turn to be shocked. Confess. Confess my love? Have you given up? Or are you planning to fall in love with someone else? Even if you really don't like me anymore. You shouldn't joke about your job. It's irresponsible to yourself. I gave a weak grunt. Boss? You've misunderstood. You really don't like me anymore? William stared intently at me. Just when I've already fallen for you? Hearing these words, my heart exploded like a mushroom cloud. It left my mind completely blank. What did William just say? Does William like me? He actually likes me. Seeing me looking dull and silent for a long time, William frowned and said, Noah, don't play dumb. I slowly opened my mouth. It seems that I don't know what to say that would be more appropriate. William asked, was what you were going to tell me in the restaurant last time also about resigning? I nodded. It was just interrupted by that phone call? I continued to nod. So you still insist on resigning now? I nodded hesitantly. Why? Give me a reason. I explained. Actually, it's because my elder brother's company has just been registered and there aren't many people. I'm going back to help him. It's not because of having a new love or anything. A faint smile curled up on William's lips. It's not because of having a new love. Then how do you feel about me? Tell the truth. I ruffled my hair, and my mind was as messy as my hair. I don't know either. Noah, you're really stupid. I stared at William with wide eyes. Why is he scolding me all of a sudden? If you don't like me, why don't you reject physical contact with me? If you don't like me, why do you always give me food? William suddenly stood up and walked towards me. He leaned over and got close to me. I was forced to look into his eyes. If you don't like me, why didn't you leave right away when we kissed? There was an instant buzzing in my ears. It was like someone had struck a gong in my head. William actually remembered. So he remembered everything that happened that night. That chaotic kiss. Noah, have been single for more than 20 years. Except for awakening my sexual orientation in junior high school and having a crush on my class monitor. I seem to have never met anyone who makes my heart flutter. Except William. In our repeated interactions, my accelerated heartbeat was not faked. It's just that I was too slow. I didn't realize it until William pointed it all out. Do you really not know? Or do you just like my body? My ears automatically picked up two keywords. Of course I like your body. Looking at William's expression as if he wanted to kill someone, I immediately smiled at him flatteringly. I also like the person. I'm already certain. I like William. After being with William, I've been thinking about how to tell my family about our relationship, but I just couldn't find a suitable opportunity. So the longer I kept it hidden, the more it dragged on. However, for some things, if you don't solve them for a long time, then the things will come to solve you. Just like now. William and I were walking hand in hand in the supermarket. A person walked towards us, and it was my mother. It was really in a mess at that time. Fortunately, William was calm and noticed something was wrong. He had met my mother in the hospital before and recognized her. Is this your mother? Yes. What should we do? Although extremely panicked inside, the hands that were holding each other didn't loosen very tacitly. William gave a slight bow to my mother and said, Hello, Auntie. I didn't even dare to look up at my mother's expression. I wished I could shrink into William's arms like a quail. My mother had been silent since she saw us. After a long while, she let out a long sigh and said, Let's go home first. Noah, come with me. With a serious face, which I've always been afraid of since childhood. As soon as I stepped into the bedroom, I was scolded severely. Noah, you've really become capable. You've been keeping this from me, right? Tell me, when did you two get together? I pursed my lips and mumbled. It hasn't been long. How long is not long? Just last year. You've hidden it quite well. How did you two get to know each other? He's my boss. My mother's expression froze a bit. Weren't you always complaining to us about your boss before? That was in the past. People change. My mother was speechless with frustration and waved me out with a big gesture. Go to the kitchen and wash the vegetables first. I'll have a chat with your boyfriend. Seeing me hesitating, she glared at me. Hurry up. Do you think I'll eat him up? It's not that. It's just that William looks like he's been pampered since childhood. I bet no one has ever scolded him. I'm afraid he'll get angry if my mother says something harsh to him. I was absent-mindedly washing the vegetables for a long time and didn't notice a pair of hands suddenly reaching out from behind to hug my waist. I was startled, turning around and seeing it was William. His face looked normal. Did my mother say anything to you? No. She likes you very much. She doesn't object to our being together either. This doesn't seem right. I was all prepared for a stormy confrontation, but it ended in a draw. My look at William was filled with even more admiration. How did you convince my mother? William replied jokingly. My personal charm. Obviously, William didn't want to tell me, but he didn't expect that I would find out one day. Later, we went abroad to get married. Then, I asked my mom about this matter again. She told me exactly what William had said to her at that time. To be honest, I got goosebumps at that time. Could such affectionate and emotional sweet talk really come from William's mouth? No wonder my mom accepted it so quickly at that time. For someone like William who seems cold and aloof, saying such words probably had quite an impact. However, William is such a taciturn person. We've been together for so long, and he hardly ever said sweet words to me in person. Thinking of this, I felt inexplicably annoyed. After getting home, I rarely got a bit angry with William. After being together for so long, he immediately noticed the change in my mood. He sat over and gently put his arm around me. What's wrong with you? It's okay. You must have something on your mind. Tell the truth. I snorted and said, I just suddenly felt that sometimes you don't act like a lover to me. You never say a single sweet word. William was stunned for a moment. Is it just because of this? Then what do you want me to say? I broke free from William's hand and said, think about it yourself. He pulled me back into his arms. I love you, wife. I felt my face burning. Finally, I couldn't hold it back and lost my composure. Do you think I'm being overly sentimental like this? Not at all. William gently kissed the side of my face and said, I'm very happy that you're willing to get angry with me. However, for more sweet words, let's save them for tonight. All right. It seems that more sweet words. Only the moon will know.